if you're new here, I'm Kanita, and if you're already watching my One Piece Chill channel, welcome back. Today we are going to read the newest chapter of One Piece, number 1120. So, of course, spoiler alert if you're not up to date with manga. Let's see what this chapter has. Let's go. It's called Atlas. Okay, so I guess it will be focused on Atlas, maybe. Oni Child, Yamata and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 10. Kids getting put in timeout by the daimyo of Kibi, Denjiro. I'm happy to see Denjiro again. Now that I see him, I kind of feel like I missed him. Yamato is shocked here, and the kids are not impressed, but he looks pretty happy. This is time out. It's a pretty rough time out, to be fair. I don't think you should do that, but okay, I think here it's just being played for laughs. And moving on with the chapter. Okay, it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be really interesting because it immediately says 26 years ago, Punk Hazard, a genius in his prime. So I feel like we are getting a juicy flashback, so to say. I implore you, Vegapunk, please aid us in our research. It is imperative that we study the Void Century. The world's history can't remain shrouded in darkness. Our research requires expertise in numerous fields. I work for the government now, Vegapunk answers. I can't afford to leak my findings. Grow will. I think that's like grow some balls. The equivalent, I guess. It is a pretty small panel. Yeah, but here we see a close-up. So Vegapunk is sitting near a dragon. Very interesting looking dragon, by the way. It is very small though. And here we have Clover looking. I don't think we ever saw him looking so young. His Clover is so different. But that is him. How many ties have they caught you anyway? Open your eyes, Vegapunk is saying. Can't you see why they keep letting you go free? They're hoping to flush out your lies. Stand down. Let the past remain shrouded. You won't find the answer to good and evil in a bunch of old stories. Okay, so he wasn't very inspired, let's say. I once knew someone who carried a D in their name, Clover is saying. He was killed right in front of me. We grew up together. He was my big brother. And Vegapunk is like, oh, my real name. Wait, what? wait a second. My real name is, how do I read it? Clown D. Clover. On that day, I lied to save myself. We were only friends. So that was his brother by blood, his big brother, but he lied that it was just his friend, so nobody would realize he also has D in his name. Okay, I know that this kind of makes sense, right? He was looking for the information about the Void Century. He was doing something that could bring some change to the world, that could affect the world, and I feel like that's definitely something that people with D in their names would be doing, right? Tell me, how am I meant to accept a world where you can die just for having the wrong name? History will only continue to be suppressed, and the people will never know. I like his energy, his drive, right? I'll forget about what you just told me, but I'm afraid I can't help you, Vegapunk answers. Do your best to stay safe. Vegapunk, the voices of the past call out to you. Just wait, I'll solve this puzzle, and when I do, you won't be able to ignore them. That is a very, that's the good word, passionate, right? That's a very passionate conversation. Yeah, that was really nice. Let's see, now we have, okay, that was 26 years ago. Now we go to 22 years ago. Did you hear the news from the West Blue? Ohara came face to face with a Buster Call. Take a look, it's the biggest massacre ever. They finally got that archaeologist, Clover. Shurorororo. Oh my gosh, Caesar's face. But yeah, that's what happens when you look into the Void Century. No one's gonna make that mistake again. Okay, it's like when they say in movies, oh, this totally isn't going to happen. And we know as viewers, oh, this is definitely going to happen. And of course, we see Vegapunk here thinking, remembering that conversation, I implore you, Vegapunk. Oh, it looks like some bread survived, and Vegapunk is looking here at the poster of Robin. You must have had a chance to escape, Vegapunk is thinking, looking here at those saved books. Clover. Oh, he brought flowers. Wait, we already had a flashback, I feel. Didn't we? Here on the border with these books. You chose this. Was passing on your research that important? You fools, did you really expect someone to be curious enough to follow in your footsteps after this? I feel like, yeah, maybe some people would be scared by this, but on the contrary, for some it would be maybe even more motivation, you know? So it's kind of double-edged. So I think that's not the correct expression. No, but yeah, it's kind of, we got that conversation with Clover, and then we see, yeah, that's how it ended for Clover, and by this time Vegapunk is still, as we can see, 22 years ago, he doesn't feel motivated to explore Void Century. He's thinking, no, like, after I saw how it ended for you, why would I do it? How that's supposed to motivate me? Someone once told me that the voices of the past call out to you. And now we go to his present speech. Oh no, why am I getting emotional? Now we go the continuation of that transmission, and he is remembering, right, this conversation. So that's reference to that flashback. Someone once told me that the voices of the past call out to you. History is written by the victors, and the words of the vanquished are usually cast into a deep, dark ocean. That being said, their truth can still come to light if the oppressed carry it on their backs and endure. One. We see some people listening, Zeph listening to it, and Robin here, her eyes covered, her face covered in shadows, covering her eyes. For my part, I am leaving this to the world, and I guess it should continue, but we are going to the conversation here on the island. Hey, what are you doing? Hurry and blast off. It's no good. We can't. That old centaur is gonna keep attacking, Zora says. We are finished if he does. That ship can only fly for a kilometer. If the Giza disrupts our trajectory even a little, we won't make it. Okay. And yeah, he's here. The wind is blowing north, and that's reducing our lift. Any further jolts will make us fall short of our projected landing zone. According to my calculations, if we miss the ocean, our damages will be critical. We have to get rid of him first. Okay, girl. War, and he... Oh no, that's... what the heck? Atlas attacks Lilith? For some fucking reason, I guess she disagrees of what the heck is going on. She's been super aggressive. What? And that is like a huge punch, huh? Atlas? The heck? And the chapter was named Atlas. I wonder why did you do that to Lilith? And you can see that Lilith is very hurt. Atlas is breathing heavily. Okay, let's see the explanation. I leave her in your hands. Take off. I'll make sure you make it in one piece. So this is the punch of sacrifice, so to say. She wants to... oh gosh, she wanted Lilith to pass out, so Lilith doesn't interfere because Atlas wants to sacrifice herself and hold the enemies off so the Straw Hats along with Lilith can run away. That would be interesting if like only Lilith survives, and she's kind of the first that we met when we came here, the first that introduced herself to us as Vegapunk. So that would kind of make sense in a way, you know? What are you talking about? Lilith's access has been severed. Atlas is the only one left, York says. Even though I'm pretty sure that Atlas just knocked her out. Take Lilith inside, Zora. Got it. Atlas, you've got to explain. But Atlas already jumps to attack Nuzjuro. Let's go, Jinbei says. And Chopper is like, what, Jinbei? We'd regret it if we hesitated now, Jinbei answers, and Zora yells, do it, Brooke. Right away, Zora-san. And we are using Coup de Burst. Well, the Coup de... Meanwhile, Atlas is creating like that moment of opportunity for us. I think sacrificing herself. She flies, kind of jumps at Nuzjuro, and we can see that one of her arms is cut off. That you can survive after that. You can. Okay, let's see what happens next. This is not the end. They go face to face, head to head. Again, we can see Atlas flying really fast. It's like cosmic effect. Burst. So, is this... Yeah, I think these are little figures of like Atlas and Nuzjuro. So she uses herself to stop him from like following us or throwing us, of course, while we are using Coup de Burst. The effect on this panel, by the way, is really nice, really neat. This broadcast of mine transmission continues. Well, we see... Oh, I think Chopper has tears in his eyes. That's so cute. No, Chopper, I feel you. I feel you. I'm praying that this message gets transmitted safely. Whoa, Vice Admiral Hound, so what is this? There's a snake, a boar, a bird, and now a robot. Where did these giant creatures come from? I honestly don't have the faintest idea. Snake, a boar... Oh, I wonder... Snake, boar, a bird. So these are like, these are Gorosei, but a robot? Are they talking about the Iron Giant, I suppose? That's kind of funny. It's the huge robot. Yeah, they are talking about him. An Iron Giant. Giants are so impressed here, and we can see, I think, Frank and Sanji here also. Everyone is like with stars in their eyes, as usual when someone in One Piece sees like something like a robot. I don't know, kind of, would you call him something like a robot? That's kind of not the impression that I got, but I guess, yeah, you could see it in that way. Joy Boy, Iron Giant thinks, I'm happy we got to meet again. We actually got his name also. But here we are just using Iron Giant, obviously, because only the readers saw that name. Joy Boy, I'm happy we got to meet again. He's thinking, looking at Luffy, seeing Joy Boy in Luffy, obviously. Over here, and he has an effect like the giant saw something, maybe one of the Gorosei, or... I realize it would be foolish to blindly trust in a one-sided account of a 900-year-old battle, Vegapunk is saying as his transmission. So is this account something that he got from this Iron Giant? Because he was here on the island, maybe Vegapunk managed to talk to him, and all the information he got is like very first-hand, and that's how he got that information from the first hands, right? That's kind of how they say it. From the first mouth. I think that's not an expression in English. I came like before. Your enemy is my enemy. I am glad I can fight for you again, Joy Boy. Oh, that's so sweet. You can talk, that's so cool. So Luffy hears him. It feels like the effect on the words, on the bubbles, it's like it's the giant's thoughts, but judging by Luffy's answer, he definitely hears what he's saying. I will protect you from danger. Joy Boy, yeah, he is coming up to two of the Gorosei. We must pound them to dust, they are saying. It seems Vegapunk's speech is all but over. It's almost over. I think this is still, there's still some continuation. Let's go! Hey, Strawhead, is he a friend? Giant's asking. Not really. He was saying something about protecting some guy called Joy Boy. Who even is that? Yeah, obviously, like, Luffy has no idea what's going on. It talked, we didn't hear a thing. What? Really? Yeah, so that's like in the case with Zunisha, I suppose. I feel like Luffy hears him in a sense telepathically, but no one else can, at least here, no one else can hear the Iron Giant. Enough chit chat, shoot, we can't let them get away. Bluegrass, I think, is saying, yes, ma'am. But I think we should be able to scrutinize and learn about the past. Okay, that's the continuation of the transmission, right? But I think we should be able to scrutinize and learn about the past from every perspective possible. I only wish I had more time. Yeah, obviously, if you just hear the account of the events from one person, it's their view of the events. That's why it's so cool to listen to different points of view about some event or some theme. It's always nice to hear different opinions, so you can like more safely form yours because you have more information in your hands, more points of view. I only wish I had more time. That's so sad. So here we see Marines attacking the giant ship. Ooh, that's a nice pair. Okay, the Iron Giant versus Gorosei showdown. Man, it's shadowed so well. I love panels like this. But there are those who cannot be stopped, like the mouth, even the saliva from this sandworm. Oof, that is a nice one. Ka-ching! It's ready to fire. What's gonna come out? Sanji and Frankie are excited. But nothing came out. Oh, because it's probably like old and rusted. It's like, what? Watch out, robot! Oh my gosh, Sanji's eye here. It's kind of funny. Oh, but he uses just his hand instead to stop the attack while his body is creaking. Whoa, robot! It seems the last 900 years have rendered those weapons inoperable. Yeah, unfortunately, that happens. Peter, crush them where they stand. End the transmission once and for all. Ah, that's you, Pete. Oh my gosh. That's his name, the sandworm's Saint Jupiter. It's just when it's just Peter, I was like, huh? What's that? Who's Peter? It sounds like a normal name, like, you walk the streets of, I don't know, England, and you see a Peter in a bar drinking beer, and you're like, hey, Peter, that's that sounds to me. But yeah, he is talking to Jupiter. Crush them where they stand. We can see Saturn leaping off the Jupiter. That's kind of funny. I don't know. This leap is kind of. I will not let you escape. Oh, yeah. I told many times before, like, he is kind of scary but kind of goofy at the same time. His face, I can't get over it. Kuma. Bonnie. Huh? Oh, Bonnie, so cute. Yeah, she's still in her child's form. Huh? That's the Sunny. And yeah, because we are down here on the giant's ship, but Sunny is using the other Straw Hats. They're using a Coup de Burst, and they are like up there, so we can see them from down here. Hold on tight, we are going down, Zoro is yelling. Are we gonna make it? So two ships are going to reunite. So you mean to make a grand sacrifice of yourself? Nusjura asks of Atlas. Oh, that's a nice panel with her determined face here. And then she says, smiling, nah, I'm just lending a hand. Oh gosh, that's kind of... Because I don't think she's surviving this, right? And... in this panel, after Nusjura asks, you mean to make a grand sacrifice of yourself? I think this panel is kind of his final attack on Atlas. And then we see her with a lot of blood coming out of her mouth, smiling. And I think we can assume that she's dying. Like most of Vegapunks, most of satellites, we can assume that they're dead. that maybe like Lilith survived, and we still have the main Stella's body, so that's kind of up in the air. But with all this speech that Vegapunk said, for me it kind of wouldn't make sense if he suddenly awakens. I mean, it could be funny, and it's still kind of him in Lilith. We'll see. Then we have this really nice, as I said, I really like the panels where there's a lot of shadows. They kind of feel really cool, you know. So Sunny flying here, we scoop the burst, and we got the last page, which is a double page. Let's go. 25 years ago, the pirate Gold D. Roger achieved the unprecedented by gosh, how do you pronounce this word? I'll say by going around the globe, okay? I'll swap it. I think that's what they mean. So that's the transmission continues. Oh, I feel like he might say something interesting yet. Meanwhile, Straw Hats, Huao and Sunny saying we're gonna make it, and yeah, we can see them in the same panel with the giant ship. It only worked because of you, right, Atlas? Usopp is also crying, of course. I was even a bit surprised that in the panel before where Chopper was seen with tears, Usopp wasn't crying, because I feel like he, okay, Chopper is #1 crier, of course, like me, but Usopp, I feel like, yeah, he might be the second. And Chopper is, yeah, of course, also in tears. I have no doubt they heard the whole thing. Atlas signal is gone. It's finally happened. Yeah, and York is also, of course. I'm like, well, out of all the satellites, only Lilith remains, because kind of in my mind, I already separated York from the other satellites. But yeah, of course, she's here still. I'm the last Vegapunk. No. Not quite, Nuzjura is saying. He did sustain some injuries from the fight with Atlas, but we can safely assume that it's just all going to be healed, because that's what we saw from Gorosei before. We have let you say far too much, Stella. Indeed, this is the end. Oh my, I have really rusted away, Giant is thinking. This is the time you spoke of, right, Joy Boy? Can I use it? Use what? So obviously, he lost one of his arms, and he's still standing before two very healthy Gorosei. While the transmission continues, they must have heard the voices of the past from the purest source possible. So he is talking about Roger pirates. They went around the globe, and I have no doubt they heard the whole thing. They must have heard the voices of the past from the purest source possible. I am confident you have all come to the same conclusion at this point, and I anticipate that is what will ultimately determine how things transpire in the future. What was that? Did he say gold? Wait, didn't we kind of assume it to gold? D, Roger? Yeah, of course. Didn't we know that? Didn't we like, huh? Of course, he has D in his name, Gold D Roger. Wasn't it ever, and he was smiling when he died? I thought it's like a common knowledge by now. No? Did we not like bring attention to it before? I think the most important thing now in this speech is that he is saying, well, that's also kind of what we knew, that they must know something special that they learned on this journey. But like what? Cover and color spread next issue. A visionary envisions the future, and this is the end. I think there's no break next week from what I see, what I understand, and this is it, the end of the chapter. So that was a bit emotional, a lot of nice panels, and I guess we'll see what happens in the next chapter, but that's it for today. I think I don't have anything else to say right now. If you have some thoughts, please share them in the comments down below, as well as your favorite moment as usual. Thank you for watching, and see ya!